Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, I am going to be doing a live summer art camp for kids. This is day 5, and we are doing silly giraffes today in our project. This is an acrylic painting. You can use any number of different craft supplies that you have. All the materials are listed down in the description of this video for all 5 days of my summer camp series. Today is going to kind of combine all of the different techniques that we've learned this week, and this project was really fun. I did this with my kids class probably about 3-4 years ago, maybe even longer. We did ours on wood boards. I'll show you my son's example here. Whoops, let me get rid of these ones. And we did them on wooden boards, and they were a lot of fun, but as you can see, they're really difficult to film on camera. They're so long that I can't even get it all on camera there. So these were like, I think about $3 at the local hardware store, and they were already kind of pre-finished and everything. So they were great to work on. So if you can find these little boards, you could do those on that too. Today I'm using a canvas panel. It's 11 by 14 inch. These are really inexpensive, so this is a great project to do with kids. You don't have to go out and buy anything too expensive. These are all kind of basic craft supplies that you should probably already have. I'm going to go ahead and spray down my canvas here with a little bit of water, and we're going to cover it with some paint colors to get started. And you can use foam brushes. I guess I'll use a foam brush today. I'm going to use a variety of different colors. Egg cartons make it really easy to keep this color separated. And I am going to, let's start with this pink. I'm just going to throw some color on there. For this part, it really doesn't matter. You're just kind of laying the base for underneath your other colors. So I just kind of let the kids pick 3 colors that will match, that will mesh together well. So ones that will blend into pretty colors. So this red, pink, and I think I'll use purple as well. Don't overblend them. You want to see a little bit of a separation between the colors. And it really doesn't matter. I've got my son Spencer today. I forgot to mention. Hey, Spencer.
Hello.
Chatting with anybody. If you have questions, you can ask in the chat, and he will relay them to me.
We're joined by Audie, Stephanie, Vivi, I think, and Nancy.
Awesome. Guys, Audie and I are friends. We're going on a road trip next week, so I'm looking forward to that. We're going to drive down to Houston to see our friend Cinnamon Cooney, who lives there, and we're going to go to a YouTube conference, learn how to make better videos for everybody, so it should be fun. And then we're going to get to do a blacklight party with Cinnamon in her studio while we're there, so be sure to check that out. That'll be Wednesday of next week on Cinnamon's channel, Cinnamon Cooney, the Art Sherpa. And my Dragonfly and Audie's Dragonfly videos are coming out Saturday, so tomorrow, which, by the way, is your dad and I's anniversary. We've been married 28 years.
Sweet.
Yeah. So to celebrate, I'm going to Houston on Monday without him. So that's what happens when you.
Even
Yeah,
after
exactly.
28 years, you gotta have some sort of break.
That's right. That's what happens.
Tessa Heights says,
Okay.
hello, Angela. I have 2 daughters that are watching. They both did the ice cream cones.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad you're watching today. That's great. All right, so once you get your color down, doesn't really matter, like I said, what colors you use. You could use, orange, yellow, red, or green, yellow, blue. Any of the colors that will mix well together will do fine for this. Then go ahead and set this aside for now. And I'm going to grab some paper, and while that's drying, I like to have the kids practice their giraffe drawing. So there's my little face there that I drew earlier. I'm going to do mine a little bit bigger. And where did my pencil go? There he was hiding. Set those aside. I'm going to turn it like this. So of course our neck of our giraffe is just going to be two pretty much straight lines, right? But the face of it is pretty easy. It's easier than you might think. When I did this with my kids' class, I was really surprised that they really picked it up really fast. So what you're going to do is draw a large V shape that's rounded at the tip, like this. You may want to switch to Sharpie. Can you see that okay, Spencer?
Yeah.
You think so? Okay, as long as I draw it really. All right, let me zoom in a little bit. I'll move that up. There we go. So probably about as tall as, twice as tall as the neck. So however wide you want to make that neck, make your face about twice the size of that. That's a good way of knowing that you've got it about the right size. Then you're going to take from here and go out and curve out and up like this on either side, out and up, like you're making sort of like a half circle, and then curve it out and back down, out and back down. There's our ears. Then draw a little line on either side right here, curving in, and two lumps for his, are these called horns? What are these called?
I don't know.
That's a good question. I should have looked that up.
Like ears.
If anybody knows, no, they're not ears. They're like little
They're like little stumps.
nubbins. They're like little horns on the top of the head. So two of those, and those are about the same size as the ear, maybe a little shorter. They kind of go almost straight up, but you can do them at an angle or however you want to do it to make them kind of fun. Now for the eyes, you're going to come right up underneath the ear and just do kind of an oval shape. There and there, and I kind of angled them down a little bit toward the center of the face. I'm just going to color those in pretty much solid. And when we paint them, we can put little highlights in them or get as fancy as you want to. Then if you want to, you could put some lashes out from the side there, some eyelashes. Then for the nose, you're going to curve from the eye and down, in just a little bit, and then almost straight down, just like that. And then two little oval shapes that kind of face out a little bit for the nostrils. And that's our giraffe. It's pretty easy.
Marcy Scott asks, is there traceable giraffes?
I'll go ahead and take a picture of this and put it on my Thankful Art page. I did a traceable for my butterflies yesterday too, so if you caught the butterfly project that we did yesterday, I went ahead and did a traceable for that yesterday. So yeah, I will just go ahead and outline this with Sharpie and copy it and stick it on my website or on my Thankful Art page on Facebook, and you can get that link in the description of the video down there. Okay, I think that's good. So let me see if our board is dry. You can draw this out as many times as you want to until your child feels comfortable with it, because when we go to the canvas, we'll draw it with chalk, and then we're going to use a crayon or a oil pastel or a China marker or whatever you happen to have that's a little bit wax based. That will help the upper layers not to have to stick to it, because we're going to put our outline on first. I guess you could even use Sharpie, and then we're going to paint around it. So let me grab my chalk. I've just got regular white school chalk, and I'm going to go ahead, and I think I want my giraffe head nice and big right up here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in my neck, and I'm going to widen it a little bit at the bottom, just a little. So I want a lot of space for all my, that's the nice thing about having those longer canvases, and there's canvases that come like twice as long as they are wide. Those are a lot of fun for this kind of project, because then you can really get a lot of fun stripes and things on your giraffe neck. My giraffe doesn't have a very long neck here, sorry. But YouTube filming is just not conducive to long canvases, huh?
Very long giraffes.
Yes, exactly. Conducive, that's a good word for kids. Learn a new word. Okay, so there's my U shape, right? Do my curve out and up on either side for my big old ears. Those might be bigger than I need. We'll see. Nice thing about chalk is I can erase it if I make a mistake. And then our two round. Try to keep those parallel, those lines there parallel. It's pretty good, I think. And then my eye here and here, just up underneath where the ear was. And then my two nostrils. And I'll put my little face markings too. And there we go. We're ready to paint. So I'm going to take my China marker, and I'm just going to go over my chalk lines really nice and dark. How are we doing on chat today, Spencer?
We are at 25 people watching right now, which is really good.
Awesome. That's great.
Maureen Anderson says, I'm finally able to catch one of your live lessons.
Wonderful. I know this is like right in the middle of the work week, and a lot of people have their kids still at school even though it's June here. Our school calendar gets over in May or early June, but if we have lots of snow days, which we did not this year. We didn't have any snow days this year. It was a really mild winter.
It was like a really late winter. I think it was like in March that we were still having freezing weather.
Yep, it was. I'm going to get some little flakes on there. That's okay. You can just wipe those off. I'm going to do my nostrils. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and fill in my eyes a little bit, but I'm going to fill in the rest of that with paint because I want them to be nice and dark. This marker is going to be, this is a China marker. I think they have these at the hardware store if you can't find them at your craft store. They write on anything. Oh, they're a Sharpie product. I didn't know they were made by Sharpie. Sharpie makes permanent markers too that I like to use.
Audie says that those little stumps are called antlers.
Antlers, thank you. Okay. Not horns, antlers. Got it. That makes more sense. They're more like a deer antler. Yeah, got it. Thank you, Audie. That would have bugged me.
Come to haunt you in the future.
Okay. Well, you know how, we just can't remember the name of things. Now, before Google, you don't remember this, Spencer, because you have no concept of not being able to look something up on the internet. But not too long before you were born, we didn't even have internet in our house.
That sounds horrible.
Or cell phones.
Jeez.
We didn't get ours. Yeah, it was after you were born that we got internet at the house, and we got our cell phones when you were about 3, I think.
I was born
So
at just the right time.
You were. So my mom was talking about my great aunt the other day, and she said that, of course, there wasn't any Google, and if you wanted to know something, you kind of either had to call somebody who knew, or you had to go to the library and look it up, or you're pretty much out of luck. You had to do some research to find something out if you wanted to know. And she said my great aunt used to call around to, well, I hope this is kid friendly. It's not that bad, but she used to call around to bars to find out because there was a lot of people there, and then they would want to help, to tell her whatever she was trying to find out. So it was pretty funny. So
Yeah,
silly.
imagine doing school projects with
My great, yeah, I know. Oh, I remember I used to have to camp out at the
library.
library. Yes, especially in college. I spent a lot of time at the school library because they had those big encyclopedia books and you couldn't take them home. You had to use them at the library. So I'm just getting all my little pieces of dust off there from that. I think that's good. And I'm going to start painting. So this is a fun part. This can be anything you want. And really, I just encourage the kids to let their creativity go. It was a little bit scary at first for some of them because they were used to me telling them exactly how to do something. But once they got into it, they really enjoyed it. So I just started by showing them how they could fill in some different spots on their giraffes in different shapes. And then they could use a scratching tool and they could scratch through the wet paint. Now that paint is not working on me. There, that one is. That's a little bit thicker. That paint had a little bit too much water in it. So it definitely works if it's kind of thick paint. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing there. Isn't that fun? And then you can see the color underneath that you're doing. So I'm going to do another square down here with the same color. Just put out whatever colors you like and start filling in your little giraffe with all your different patterns. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit thicker paint on here so that I can scratch it. There we go. I'm going to do scratches this way too. I'm going to do a big old heart on here. Scratch a big old heart. Isn't that fun?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Patterns going up.
Right. Let me put some paint in his face. I'm going to put a little bit of paint around his eyes and just fill in this section of his face. This is, like I said, you don't have to do it with the same colors. You can choose your own patterns. However you want to do this is good. Okay, I'm going to grab some of my bubble wrap and my other materials here. Zoom out again. Okay, I'm starting to get my giraffes already getting a little bit of personality. I'm going to take a brush and brush on a little bit of this color on my bubble wrap. Maybe grab a little bit lighter blue and do some of that. Use smaller pieces than this with your kids. It'll be easier for them to handle. I just happen to have this big old piece that I was using. Set it down. Don't move it side to side. Once you set it down, just kind of gently pat it in place and then lift it straight off. And you'll get some really cool patterns. I'm going to put some over here. Try not to touch my face. It's still wet. Some more over there. There we go. Okay, let's get some up here by his ears. Use up whatever's left on there. Kind of gets down into the nooks and crannies of that bubble wrap, so you can get quite a few presses off of it just by, and I didn't put a lot of paint on there if you noticed. I just kind of barely rubbed across it to get a little bit of my paint. Let's use this one. This one's shelf liner. And in fact, I'm going to cut it into a little bit more manageable size. It comes in long rolls that you can use, on your shelves at home. And if you happen to have some of this, it's got a great texture to use for these paintings. Let's do some orange, maybe some yellow. Ooh, that's pretty. Might put a little bit on over the top of his antlers too. Down in his body, you can go over the top of your lines. You don't have to just go on the outside. You can put a little bit in his face if you want. Let me grab this pattern. This is a trivet from the dollar store. Came in like a pack of 3 for $1. Let's use some of my bright green.
Audie says,
Maybe
tell your
more of this
mom
yellow.
I love the egg carton.
Isn't it a great idea? I actually stole this idea from my good friend that lives here in town, and she does kids classes. She's got actually a store called Paint with Lane in the mall here in town. And oh, isn't that fun? That looks good. Um, and I saw her doing this. I was like, that's genius. So I started doing it with my kids' classes
What's an
too.
egg carton? I've never heard of it.
This is an egg carton where,
Oh,
with the
oh,
eggs come in.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like a painting for a second. I was like,
Oh, no. No, I mean, it's just great because it keeps the paints all separated and they don't get all mushed
it's
together.
cheap, so
Yeah, it's free.
cool.
It's perfect. She gets them. She's in the mall there. She's got a restaurant that's right next door. So they give her all the egg cartons she wants. So she doesn't even have to pay for pallets at all. It's a great deal. So if you've got any, I've got a new stencil set that I wanted to try out. If you don't have stencils, don't worry about it. Just use what you've got. This was a set that I got from Deco Art called Personally Yours, and it had all these letters in it, but then it also had all these different patterns. So it had like polka dots and stars and chevron and stripes and some zebra pattern, and I think that's actually a giraffe pattern, so I'm definitely going to use that one. So, and I've got another one that's got like stars. Um, if you're crafty, chances are you'll probably have a few of these laying around your house. So grab what you've got. And I think I'm not going to do the dots because I already have the dots. Might do some of those. Don't need the stripes. Maybe do some of the stars and the hearts and things. Okay, try to keep them out of my paint. Let me put on a few more spots here so that I can paint over them later. I want them to get to where they're drying. So I'll put in a few more spots on my giraffe. This time I'm going to do them more solid.
Tara Evans asks, what paint are you using?
These are just Deco Art ceramic or Deco Art craft paints. But if you don't have the craft paints, you can use heavy body acrylics for this too. I mean, the heavy body is probably ideal, but since it was a kid's project, I figured these little watered down paints are a little bit easier sometimes for them to use because they're, thinned and they're a little bit easier to brush on. They're not as thick. So I'm just going to keep on filling in, and you can leave space between your spots if you want. I'm not cleaning out my brush. I know my pink's got a little bit of orange in it. Actually, I think I'm going to make that more of a square. Really, this is the fun part. You can just really kind of let your imagination go. Do whatever you like. I called it freestyle painting because it was really freeing. You just kind of get into it and go with it. Spencer did a whole different thing. He kind of did his more solid,
Yeah,
when he did his. So
I just wanted
I
to
think I'm
go
going
for
to do
like
my
a more simple kind of.
right. And that's good too, whatever you want to do.
Smiley Rainbow asks, "Hello, I just joined. Did I miss anything?"
No, we just painted the background. And now we're filling in our giraffe. I showed how to draw it. We're just filling in our giraffe with different colors and random patterns and things. So you didn't miss much. We're just kind of, this is the fun part. We're kind of just figuring out what colors we want to use. I might use some of this pink up in the ears too. I think I'm going to do 2 colors on the ears. Don't worry, if you get outside your lines, we're going to outline everything at the end once this paint is dry. So that won't be a problem at all. I think that's good.
Looks nice.
Yeah, it's looking good. It's starting to come alive. This project's got a lot of personality. It's really fun. This is so outside my normal kind of painting too. It's really like fun for me to kind of just let go and do something really different and crazy like this with wild colors, and just makes you feel good.
Andy Coker asks, "What is your favorite color out of the ones that you're using now?"
Ooh, you know, my favorite color right now is quinacridone magenta. I think I've been using it in almost every single one of my paintings. It's like a darker version of this magenta. You know, it's super highly concentrated magenta, and it just looks so pretty when it's mixed. It's a heavy body color. You might be able to find it in the craft acrylics. I don't know. I haven't looked for it. But yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites right now. It's usually like, but when I'm like wearing like for clothing and stuff, blue, anything blue, aqua blue especially. That's my all-time favorite color. I love wearing blue. But when I'm painting, I do use blue a lot in my paintings too. I think I'm going to put some stripes in that wet paint on these ears.
Smiley Rainbow asks, "Are you using only acrylic paints?"
Yes, these are acrylics. Yep. Zoom in just a little bit. I feel like you can't see what I'm doing very well. I'm just going to try to make sure that I don't go off camera too much. I think that's dry. Let me see if I can draw on it with this. Yeah, I'll use a marker. There we go. See, the oil pastels paint right over the top of it. They're great. They work really good. Do a star. Just scraping through the wet paint to make some patterns. Okay, I'm going to fill in the eye. I'm going to get a little bit smaller brush and fill in my eye with black. Get that nice and dark. It's kind of an almond shape. Sort of the same shape as the ear was, like a curved on both ends and pointed. And I'm going to put a couple lashes out the side. Just a couple little lines. Really appreciate y'all joining me today. I know it's just really nice when anybody takes time out of their day to come watch these live shows. They're a lot of fun for me. I like to be able to interact with people while I'm painting, and it's nice that I don't have to do any editing because editing is not
It's
my
all in
favorite.
one take, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's done. So, and really, the live shows remind me of my kids, remind me of my classes that I've done for so long. It's kind of that same feeling for me, even though, I mean, it can be a little bit daunting because you are live, and so, if you make a mistake or whatever. But it's just it feels good because I've done it for so long. It's kind of feels more comfortable to me than trying to record to an empty
Yeah.
studio. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of white in the eye. Let's do a little dot right here
Tessa
on the eyes.
asks, how would you go about sealing the oil pastels? Just regular acrylic varnish?
Yeah, you can use that spray sealer on it. Like if you've got an acrylic clear coat, it'll be fine on it. Any kind of, yeah, varnish. Varnish might, I don't know. I've never really tried. I've used the spray, so I don't think I've ever tried the brush on varnish with the oil pastels. Okay, now you can take a damp towel and you can rub off some of that chalk before we get too much farther. It'll be easier to do it now before we get too much wet paint around it. Don't do around the eyes yet because those are still wet. I forgot to do it before I painted the eyes. But once you get your black outline on, you could probably do this. I just forgot to do it earlier. Just with a damp cloth, that that chalk will disappear. Okay, that's good. Oh, he's looking so cute. Cute little giraffe. Okay, so let's put some of these patterns in our spots. I'm going to try to fit my stencil into the area here. And I've got a little paint dauber. If you don't have one of these, you could use your sponge brush and just kind of tap over it. These just make it easier to kind of control where that paint goes. I'm going to grab just a little bit of paint. And if you've got a plate, you can dab it off on your plate because you just don't want it to be too thick. And I'm going to tap over and try to keep it just in those areas. You could use tape if you really want to be careful. I'm not worried about it too much if it goes over the lines, but into the next one. I'm kind of covering this one with my finger so it doesn't go in there. Just tap straight up and down. And then, oh, cute. Got some little hearts. Let's put a few over. Let's see. I know, let's put some up here. Just some random ones. I'm going to use this purpley color. Tapping it off. I'm just going to make a random pattern. Just tapping a few hearts in here and there. There we go. Cute. I'm just going to keep filling up all of my empty spaces with different colors and patterns.
Make it as cute as possible.
Exactly. Cuteness overload today. Should come with the warning. Like the ice cream cone drawing should have come with the warning that it would make you hungry. Have some ice cream handy because you will want some once this is over. Okay, a little bit of my green lifted up there. I'm just going to put a little bit more down over the top. I think I'm going to mix a color. This green is a little bit bright, so I think I want to just set that aside. This is a very, very messy project, so be sure you have lots of room to spread out the mess, like cover a large area of your table with cloth so that you can protect your workspace, because with your stenciling and all that, you're going to end up with some mess. Okay, so now I think I want to, let me see, maybe let's do a big old star over here. I'm just going to do a big random star shape going off the edge of my canvas. I'm going to draw an A, and then I'm going to draw my cross piece. And I'm going to connect those two lines. Let's fill that in. Whatever you like. There's really no right or wrong way of doing it. You could use a stencil with your name and put your name up on there. Let's do another big bright star up here. Maybe this time I'll use my stencil. Let's do that medium size one.
Tara Evans says, Angela, this has been a great blessing to me. I've been having a very bad week.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I'm glad you've enjoyed this. I hope your week gets better the weekend.
That's part of it.
Art can really help relieve a lot of stress for sure. I know it kept me sane for, well, my little ones were little. Not that Spencer was the probably the most difficult of all my children.
Thank you.
I know. I'm sorry to say
Oh,
that.
no, I took it as a compliment, really. I try.
You did try. Oh my gosh, that kid, he did you I don't know if you even remember because you were so little, but if I turned my back, you would get into the pantry. So one time you got chocolate syrup and covered your room with chocolate syrup, just like like spread it out like Jackson Pollock on the floor of your room all over.
I don't
Just
remember that.
squirted it out everywhere. Whoops, missed that one. Sorry. You don't remember that at all? No, I'm sure you didn't. Yeah, you were little. And then another time you got Jello, orange Jello, the powdered
Yeah.
kind, and you like finger painted with it. You did it like sand art all over the table in your room, and then you were like obviously licking it off your fingers, and of course then it got like sticky and down in the, oh my gosh, that was such a mess. It really dyed the room. The carpet was orange. It never came back from being orange in that one spot. It was hilarious. And then, yeah, I've never told you that, have I?
No,
This
you
is so
never.
funny. You were really, oh my gosh, it was. You got you had your Thomas the Tank Engine
I remember
trains.
that.
Okay, so your Thomas Gordon was very bad one day, and it was Gordon's fault because you were sure to let me know that it was Gordon that
Yeah.
did it. Your Gordon train, and I'm just going to use what's left off in here. Gordon took a ride in the plant at the house, and he dug up all the dirt and dug it out all over the floor. And I don't know why Gordon decided he had to go in the dirt of the plant, but he sure did make a mess.
Gosh.
Yeah. And then another time you used chocolate pudding. It was a whole food themed thing, Most of your mishaps were food related, like as if I didn't feed you
Yeah.
enough or something. I don't know what the deal was. Didn't feed you enough of what you wanted to eat,
You never
obviously.
told me this stuff.
I know. I just thought about it. I was like, well, yeah, I never have really mentioned it to
I
you.
remember.
Yeah, you were a pain in the.
I remember my second day at kindergarten like it was yesterday, though.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yes.
on my first day at kindergarten, I was like really nervous and all that.
And I dropped him off at
Yeah.
school into the classroom. I walked him straight into the
Okay,
classroom.
so second day of school, we had like recess and they were all lining everybody up, kindergartners, first graders, and second graders. And I accidentally got into the second grade line and I didn't even notice. But by the time I realized, I tried to go over to the kindergarten line, but the teacher told me, no, no, no getting out of line. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm in second grade now. So. So we go into just some random class. I don't even, nothing's like,
Real loud.
sorry. Nothing's
That's right.
nothing's familiar. And they're just like, "Hey, we got a new kid or something." And I was like, "Hey, what are you doing here? Aren't you in kindergarten?" I'm like, "Oh no, I did that yesterday."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember getting put back into
Yeah.
line. I remember that very clearly. Oh,
Yeah, that was the running joke at Center Valley after
yeah,
that at his school. Yeah, he was
all the
like,
teachers talk.
"Aren't you in kindergarten?" "No, I did kindergarten yesterday." Like Spencer is going to be graduated from elementary school entirely by the end of the
Yeah,
week. Let me see if my colored pencils will go over this. I'll try it. I'm not sure if they'll work. Yeah, they'll work just fine. Outline this one. I'm gonna, let's see. I really should have, then let me do another layer on here, and then I want to rub some of the paint off. Let me see what color I want on that star. Y'all can shout out colors to me if you want to see me do any particular colors. Uh, let's do this blue. I haven't done this bright blue. I need to go thick with it. I don't want it to be too watery. I'm going to go right over the top of my green star that I did. Yeah, Spencer. Spencer was just, you were just like one of those babies that, like, it had been enough time between your older brothers. There was 8 years separating you and Jordan. And I thought I knew, you know, what I was doing. But it was like you were just so different from them. Of course, you didn't have your younger brother to blame for stuff. So it was pretty much if something happened, it was you,
it's always been.
Pretty, yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, you definitely were a challenge when you were a toddler. It was it was funny. It's funny now. At the time, I was like pulling my hair out.
Mhm.
Like, what? Why does this child keep getting into the chocolate syrup?
Chocolate
Okay,
syrup.
now I'm gonna. Chocolate syrup's good, dude. I can't blame you there, really.
Never
I
had
mean,
that. Or at least I can't
uh,
remember having that.
having chocolate
Yeah.
syrup? Yeah, you have. You have it in chocolate milk when you make chocolate milk.
Oh. Okay. I thought
That
you meant like
thing.
actual like pancake syrup.
Oh
Okay.
no, no, I'm talking about the stuff that you use for
Ice
your
cream.
ice cream and chocolate milk. Okay, isn't that fun? So now it's like got the green showing through, whoops, the blue. Very cool. Let me do this one over here with the blue too. Yeah,
Gracie B says so. Spencer was born an artist in mixed media.
that's right. That's awesome. So
That is
true.
exactly right.
That is exactly it. We should give you some food and just see what happens. Give you some food and a canvas and
Yeah.
let you go at it. You might make something interesting out of
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
I have a few
yeah,
ideas in my mind.
yeah. Spencer, his behavior has greatly improved, I have to say. I'm happy to note he's the most well-behaved 14-year-old out there, I think.
Debatable.
I think.
I just haven't gotten caught yet, so.
Ah, is that what it is? Okay. All right. I know now. I know now. All right, I'm gonna do like weird circles in here. This one's not scraping off as good. I'm gonna use the pointy tip. There we go. Oh, it looks like a starfish almost.
Hmm. It actually
A little
does,
bit.
yeah.
Put some extra paint back in there. Okay, that's good. So you get the idea. We're just gonna keep on going here. Now I'm gonna got pretty good patterns going. I think I'm gonna like do some random just stripies and things with my brush. Now this is the part where your kids can switch to your oil pastels if they're not comfortable with using a brush. Might be easier for them. Oh, I need to zoom out a little bit. Whoa. All right. Need to. I feel like I want to do some like random circles out here too, just to kind of like make some patterns happening in this space.
Tara Evans asks, what is the name of the aqua color?
The aqua color is turquoise blue. This one is turquoise blue, and then the lighter one is whispering turquoise. They're both the Ceramcoat, or not Ceramcoat, Americana paints. Colors. Let's see. Just trying to figure out where I want to put a little bit more. I'm kind of trying to place my colors in a balanced composition. So like I don't want all my green over in this area. I kind of try to talk to the kids about, you know, color balance and using the whole space to your advantage. Let me do some polka dots in this one. Just using the brush to dip little dots. You can use the back end of your brush to do dots. I use this light blue to outline this one. Not being particularly careful, just kind of letting it be real loose and fun feeling. So if you go outside the lines, don't worry about it too much. That's the nice thing about this project.
Jazzing that giraffe up.
I am. He's being bedazzled. Oh, and yeah, the other thing that I was gonna say is yesterday I did you know, the project with the butterflies, the mixed media butterflies, and you could totally mix media this with some papers, and I think I might even pull out a few and see if I can fit something in somewhere.
Would you do something with like buttons or something?
Yeah, you could totally do buttons. You could do let me see, I've got that paper. It'd probably be cute. Excuse me. So I'm just going to cut a little spot. Maybe stick some paper down. Right?
Mandy Coker says, have you seen a real giraffe?
I have seen a real giraffe. Yes. Do you remember seeing the giraffes at the zoo, Spencer?
Which one was it?
Well, I think at our local zoo we saw them. They had them really close, like they could come right up to you. And I can't remember if they let you feed them. I have this vision of feeding them, but I don't really remember if it actually happened or not.
I remember the Georgia Aquarium like it was yesterday. That
Yeah.
was so much fun. If you've never gone to the Atlanta, Georgia
Yeah,
Aquarium, it is amazing. Holy cow.
it really was. It was the best aquarium I've ever been to. Yeah. I've been to the Omaha Zoo. The Omaha Zoo was probably my favorite zoo. Mark and I, when we were first married, we used to visit zoos for like anytime we travel. And my parents were here in Arkansas, and we were up in Arizona. And so we would travel across, and we went to all the zoos in the you know, in between. So the Oklahoma City Zoo and all these different ones that, so we were like zoo connoisseurs for a while there. The St. Louis Zoo has a really nice free zoo
Why did
that
we
we've been
go
to.
to Atlanta in the first place? That's what I can't.
We went for Jordan's, remember Jordan was in boot
Oh
camp, and
yeah.
so we had to drive through to
Okay, yeah,
see his boot
yeah.
camp. So anyhow, you get the idea with the paper. I'm not going to glue it down right now because my Mod Podge is up in the corner there. But you could also do some really cool patterns with your papers, and I definitely would do that. I'm going to use this and do a couple of spots. Let's see. Let's do some of this blue here. I'm just going to do some random circles in here with this color. And I don't want to use it up in the eyes because it's so dark. I don't want to compete with the eyes, but I think I'm going to use it up here. Just put a couple more random dots
Stephanie asks.
here and there.
Sorry. Stephanie asks, can you show us the other giraffes the kids made?
Yeah, I'll pop that up again real quick. Okay. So this one did like all squares. She did, I think she did yellow on her background, and then she painted around on top of it with this light blue. This one was one of my favorites. It's so wild. She did stripes of different colors all the way up her giraffe neck. This one was also, well, they're all my favorite in different ways. There are things about each one of them I like. I love the polka dots on this one. She used this polka dot tool here, and she just did polka dots all the way up, and then she outlined them each. And this one I love. She did like, I don't know if you can see that, but there's like a star behind this one, huge star. And then she did like random stripes in her thing. Yeah, this one is like all these little tiny spots that were all clustered together. It's just really great. This one put like awesome, wow. I don't know. She had like words all scratched through all the way, all over. It was really awesome. So loved it. They were super creative for sure.
Bunny Wilson asks, I just caught up from the beginning. Can you tell me the reason for the China marker? I've not worked with acrylics before and wondered if there was a purpose for the marker.
Oh, you could use paint if you want to. It's just easier, I felt like, for the kids to use a China marker to draw out the giraffe. You don't have to be as careful. They're just seem like a little bit easier to wield. That's the only reason. So you could totally use paintbrush or whatever you've got. I think I'm going to start putting in some more designs on my thing here now that my initial ones are dry. I'm going to start filling in. I'm going to do like a semicircle here. And really, you can stop at any point that you're happy with this. We've been going for an hour now, so it flies by when you're doing this project. I'm telling you, it's like so fun. You just kind of get into it, and time goes by. You don't even realize that you've spent. Some of the kids are going to have it done in like, 2 colors. They'll be like one and done. It's crazy. And then some are going to take their time with it. So you just kind of, we had usually an hour and a half in my classes, and we used every bit of that time for this project for sure. It was definitely a full hour and a half, and we could have probably gone longer.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Bunny Wilson asks, is the marker permanent?
Yeah, it's wax based, so I mean it's not coming off. You can paint right over it. So yeah, it grabs onto that canvas and it sticks pretty well. I mean, it'll smear. If you worked at it, you could smear it, but if you spray it with like an acrylic sealer, acrylic clear coat is probably what I would use to seal this project if you're using, especially if you're going to be using the oil pastels and things, they'll be able to be sealed with that. I'm just gonna do my random designs here. Filling in, I'm gonna go ahead and do another. Not being very careful with my outlining. I'm just kind of, in fact, I think I'm just going to keep on going and keep doing. I'm going to grab my oil pastels now. This set here, I put the link to it, and I found it on Amazon. It was like $4, so super cheap, and it had a lot of really good colors. So I'm just going to keep on doing more and more circles and just fill in that whole area there with random colors. And the nice thing about that oil pastels is they just glide right on top of the canvas. They cover over your paint just fine. They are really good for this project. They do have a little bit more of a like grainy texture, I guess. So just be aware of that. They're not going to be solid unless you really work at it and kind of push that pigment down into the canvas texture, but I don't mind that about them. Let me go ahead and do some white. I don't have any white in here. I'm going to randomly go outside the lines and overlap some of these shapes that I've got going on. Getting close to being done with this almost. I mean, really, you could end it, like I said, at any time that you're happy with it. I'm going to do some, let's find a, there's a turquoise, let's try that. Do a couple of those like curly cues. I think I'm kind of happy with his face. I don't want to do too much more on there. I really like how he looks, or she looks. So you can keep on going if you want more designs in the face. I'm going to do some stripies on here over the top of the green. Let's see. Just kind of filling in my random open spaces here now with some color and pattern.
Looks good.
I know, it's looking really cute. I really like it.
All the colors, they blend nicely.
Yeah. And then like I said, if you want to add papers to them, you can do that. I'm going to move these since I didn't glue them down. I'm going to go ahead and just draw in some pink. I like that pink color. Do a long one there. Maybe outline this one with the pink. See if I can get it a little bit brighter. Do the white. There we go. Yep, just filling in all of my open spaces with different colors.
Many colors as possible.
Yep. I may do some polka dots or something in his ears. Let me just do that. See what that looks like. It's cute. these oil pastels will blend when you mark on top of one another too, so keep that in mind. They can be blended to make other colors. I'm going to go ahead and put some stripes in between these ones with the lighter blue. Do that down here. Working really fast. Just there we go. Let's do another color inside this one. Now it's really filling up with color. Just want to really fill up the entire thing. Yeah, I am running out of room. Let's see. But that's kind of what you want. You want it to kind of just really feel like it's just a big fun party of color. Color explosion. Put some white around this guy. Just any place you feel like it needs a little pop of color. I'm going to maybe put some polka dots inside that. You could use Sharpies on this as well. So Sharpies would work well over the top of the canvas. If you've got colored Sharpies. Now that your paint is all dry, just be aware that the Sharpies and the oil pastels won't mix well. So you might do the Sharpies first and then do your oil pastels over the top, because the Sharpies can get gummed up by the oil pastel colors.
Audie says that all the talk of Spencer throwing food made me hungry. I had
You had to go get some lunch. Oh. Yeah, we're going to have to do lunch after this. Spencer and I have been staying up way too late this whole week. I don't know why we do that to ourselves.
My alarm hasn't been waking me up. And whenever it does, I just turn it off and go to sleep. So.
Yeah, I've been having to wake him up at 11:30 every morning. So we haven't even had breakfast. Mm-hmm. It's summertime, though. We don't have to be anywhere.
It's kind of laid back.
Yeah, I love that about summer. I feel like I need something over here. Just do some more stripes over here. I think we're about filled up. I don't know. I can't see a whole lot more. Really liking it. I think it's really fun. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do this project and you want to share it with me, I've got a group on Facebook called Thankful Art. And the outline for this giraffe will also be on there so that you can check it out. Fun. Really crazy. Hope you liked it. Thank you so much, those of you who joined me live, and I will see you, in 1 week on Saturday the 18th. I'm going to be doing this painting here live. So check back with me on Saturday the 18th for that. And tomorrow my dragonfly painting will be coming out. That one's another really fun kind of whimsical project. So I hope you check that out too. And thank you so much for watching today. We'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks, Spencer.